I guess first of all, congratulations on everything. You seem to be a very busy person. What is it about what you do that makes you want to stay busy?
Mhm. It's a great question, actually. I think it's the fact that I don't have anything else that brings me as much joy. It might sound like a very cliche type of answer, but when I get an idea that I'm really excited about, it like takes over everything for me. And so I think if I didn't have the ability to make that idea into something more tangible as a script or, even share it with friends, I don't know if I would be as content with my life. And I think it's that idea that one, I'm lucky enough to do it as a job, and then two, I'm good at it, that I'm like, okay, this is good for me as a person. So I think that's why.
And why did you choose to create content that is for children instead of just, exploring everything else?
I think right now, just because I still have an inner child in me, and that inner child is very loud. And I think I don't know. There's something about content for kids that just innately brings me joy because that's what I've been watching my whole life. That's what I know best. And it's not to say that I won't be doing anything else throughout my career. I think I have a long time ahead of me to start thinking about the other genres and the other audiences. But right now, focusing on kids, it's my way of giving back to my community and just everyone who needs a little bit of fun because times are dark for the most part there, and I just kind of want to bring a little bit more optimism, and I think optimism should first and foremost go to kids because they're the future, and kind of letting them know that they will be okay and that there is things to look forward to in life. And I think if you can do that at first, it'll be easier to deal with other audiences who are going through different things later on.
Definitely. And instead of concentrating on just acting or just writing or just producing, you decided to go battle with everything. What is it about your personality that thrives when you're going on multiple tangents, trying to do everything at once?
Well, I haven't actually acted. It is something I feel like acting in itself, that's kind of outside of my comfort zone. I'm more of an introvert. So I think words are my comfort place. They're my safe space because I can just write whatever I want and then edit it later on. Whereas acting, it's like you're really putting yourself out there. So maybe one day I'll be more of an actress. Who knows? Who knows? But the reason why I do it again, it's because it just brings me joy, and I don't know if anything else would be as fulfilling for me. And I'm not trying to figure out if anything else would be fulfilling for me. So I just continue whatever opportunity is given to me. I say yes because you just really never know what you're going to get out of it. I think the projects I've worked on so far, they have helped me grow as a writer like exponentially, and the people I've got to meet has also like helped me become kind of a better person in general, because they let you grow and they give you the space to grow, and that's something that's honestly like it's worth so much more. So I think just for that, that's why I just take on as many projects as I can and do as many types of works as I can.
That's awesome. How important has it as representation been in your career?
I think it's priceless, honestly, because I never grew up seeing myself on the screen. It's something that a lot of people say, but it's true. It's a fact. And I think being able to put little black girls on the screen and seeing their reactions to that brings so much pleasure and is so worth it because it gives them the opportunity to see something else, to see another option for themselves, for their own lives. So I think that's why representation matters. It's like giving someone permission to be like, okay, you can be a superhero. You can be a detective, you could be a doctor, you could be anything you want. There's no limit. And showing that is the first step, honestly, to getting a better future for everybody.
Definitely. And since you didn't grow up watching somebody like you on the screen, what did that inspire in you? What kind of fire was lit inside of you not being able to see somebody like you on screen?
Honestly, pettiness. Kind of like, you know what? if we're not on the screen and I get to put someone like me on the screen, she's gonna be amazing. She's gonna be so cool. She's gonna be so out of the box, something so like a breath of fresh air, really. And I think that kind of motivation, although sure it comes out of a place of maybe negativity, I think it brings out a positive. It's kind of like turning a negative into a positive, and I think that, for what it's worth, is pretty cool.
Definitely. And places like Netflix and the Disney Channel, what kind of experience have you had with them? Have they been very supportive of the characters you brought to the table?
Yeah, honestly, it's surprising how they have been supportive. I think because this is kind of a new era of African content, of African animated content, they really want to get it right. And to get it right, you have to talk to the people who are living these lives. And so they are the first to kind of come up and ask, okay, what are the do's and don'ts? Or what do you think of this character? How can we make it more realistic? How can we make it, how can we turn the character that's like one dimensional, two dimensional into someone that African girls and boys can look and relate to, because that is very important. And the fact that they go out of their way to get it right, I think that's the first step. They can always do more, but I'm glad that they are at least leaving the door open to fixing, not fixing, but making things better for the viewers and the producers and the writers and everyone who's involved in these projects.
With the discussions you've been having with Disney Channel, Netflix, anybody that's trying to kind of bring a different narrative to the story, do you encounter many stereotypes, much negativity that they have, or has it been more positive?
It has been positive. I think it's also the fact that the audience, not just the audience, but animation in general tends to be quite positive. Working with kids animation, you kind of do have that little, you know, I guess it's the inner child again that just comes out of everybody, and it's a space where we all want the project to be good. So it does bring out a lot of positivity, thankfully enough. I'm not going to say that there aren't any stereotypes that are brought up. It happens, but it comes more out of a place of maybe not knowing as much, and that's when you start the dialogue to know better. So I'm glad that again they come with a good attitude, with a very positive mindset, and again they want to get it right, so they communicate to us and ask for our feedback. And if you create that kind of space, everyone thrives.
Definitely. And when you're creating a character, what aspects of the character are you most focused on? What do you want to tell people and have people like you that are finally seeing representation on screen know? What do you want them to take away from your characters?
I want them to know that it's okay to have flaws. I think one type of character that I have a hard time relating to are the characters that are perfect, that get everything right. And even if they don't get it right, it's not because they couldn't do it in the first place. It's something external that stops them from getting their goal. And I like characters who are more flawed, who are not always, they might be clumsy, not saying that clumsiness is a flaw in itself, but they're more interesting because they have to overcome something within themselves. And I think those are the characters I gravitate more towards, because there's just so much more you can play with. Because we talk about character growth a lot in this industry, and to grow a character, they have to start from something relatively negative and turn that negative into a positive by the end of the episode or the show. I think that's just a much more fun journey to watch. And those are the characters that I strive to write.
That's awesome. What is your writing process? Do you create characters first and then a storyline, or do you go for the storyline and have the characters come as you're writing?
It really depends. I think for the most part, it's a situation that happens in my head, and then I try to find a character that would be the most interesting to put in that situation. So for me, I have to see it. I have to visualize it in my head first, like the environment, kind of like the story beat that I'm interested in. Whether it's like they're playing at a park. Okay, if they're playing at a park, who are the characters that would be interesting to see at that park? Is it someone who's shy? Is it someone who's loud and a lot and has a lot of energy? And so I think for me, yeah, it would be situation first and then character second. But then throughout the shaping of the story, that's when this character takes place more and more in my mind, because I want to get them right. So I would say, yeah, situation first, character second, but then it's character focused, because at that point I know who I'm writing and I know what I want from them, so it becomes a lot more clearer.
What are the projects that you have coming up?
Right now, I'm still just working on African content, because again, there's just not enough, and I'm always glad to help shape something new for the audience. So it's nothing that I can say in particular, but it's a lot of fun stuff. And again, it is focused more on kids, because it's just so much fun, and I like it, and I'm good at it. So yeah, good stuff ahead. I just can't get into the details.
No problem. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great career. You seem to have a fantastic grasp on what you do. So, well, congratulations on everything so far.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.